This creeper's gonna attack me, but he's gonna do absolutely nothing because I have freaking shields. Hey, this is Chris. Hopefully everyone is having an awesome day, and welcome back to another mod review. So today we're reviewing the RELICS mod for 1.16.5, and it's a mod that adds a bunch of unique items, and some of these items are completely overpowered. Anyway, let's just get straight into this video. So before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that none of these items are actually craftable, and you can only get them from specific loot chests. So for example, here we have the arrow quiver, which is the first thing we're gonna cover, and it can only be found at the Fletchers or the Butchers. And the way this basically works is it gives you a 20% chance or a 1 out of 5 chance of shooting multiple arrows, and that is freaking awesome. So we're just gonna click on this right here, and this should take us to the menu where we actually wear these items. So for example, here we have the slot, which is the back for the arrow quiver. So we're just gonna put it in this slot right here, and it should allow you to actually use the item. Now I'm just gonna shoot the bow and arrow, and it should shoot multiple arrows every once in a while. So let's just shoot one more, and let's just keep shooting until it shoots multiple arrows. So we're almost there, and there we go. That shot a bunch of arrows, and that should be like 5 arrows. And you can also just shift, and it should pick up the arrows near you. So I just remembered that some of these items actually break while using them in creative. So I have gone into survival, and now I'm gonna show you the second ability from this bow. So if you shoot multiple arrows everywhere and you don't want to pick them up, you can just shift, and it should pick up all the arrows within range. So if they're a little bit too far away, you can't actually get to them. And also, if you shoot multiple arrows, you can't actually pick up the other multiple arrows. That's so it can actually be a little bit more balanced. So there we go. So I shot a bunch of arrows, and only the arrows that I actually shot come back to me. So I had 20, and I have 20 again. So you can't actually duplicate stuff with this. And now let's move on to the Bastion Ring. So the Bastion Ring can be found in nether fortresses and bastions. So I know the second one sounds a little bit obvious, but I just wanted to mention every single location of all of these treasures. But anyway, what the Bastion Ring does is basically gives you a 30% chance of finding a bastion once you actually kill a piglin. So it's kind of brutal, but let's just murder this guy. And I wasn't lucky with him, so let's try to murder this guy. And I wasn't lucky with him either. So here we have a bunch of piglins we can brutally murder. So we're just gonna kill all of these, and hopefully one of them has a 30% chance. Oh, there we go. So it basically just shows you the direction of the bastion, which is freaking awesome. But it's a 30% chance, so it's gonna be a little bit hard. But at least it pointed in the right direction, which is kind of like over there where the bastion is already. But let's just move on to the next item. Now here we have the Blazing Flask. So this allows you to become fireproof and to fly like a firebender. Also, the Blazing Flask can only be found in bastions and nether fortresses. So I'm just gonna set myself on fire, and nothing should happen. And also, fire is the way it actually recharges. So no matter how much fire you put, yeah, it'll just extinguish itself until it actually reaches like 100%. So I'm currently at 22%, and I'm not gonna keep trying that. But anyway, now I'm gonna start levitating. So to start levitating, you just double click at the spacebar, and you should start flying. So here we go. So you can just start flying, but pretty slowly. I guess that this isn't actually good transportation, especially since you can fall to your death once it actually loses its charge. And by the way, it actually doesn't keep its level because it actually makes you go over blocks. And also, I'm not sure, I don't know how Jonathan killed himself with fire for using a freaking fireproof item. Oh, oh, Jonathan is the, oh yeah, I kind of forgot to mention that. It sets your opponents or any other thing on fire.
Every time I use it.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, it's glitched in multiplayer too, apparently. So let's just start flying over Jonathan, and it should kill Jonathan. Although he was glitched into being killed without me, but there we go. So I'm gonna burn him, and I'm just gonna stop abusing Jonathan. So you know what, Jonathan is stuck in an infinite cycle, so I guess that he can't be part of the mod review. Jonathan, you're just gonna have to Now here we have the Camouflage Ring. So this ring can only be found in jungle temples, and the way this works is, it allows you to hide in tall grass or any other tall plant in Minecraft for 1 minute. So we're just gonna go back here where there's a bunch of tall things. So I know it's gonna be pretty difficult, but I'm gonna try it in third person so I can show you guys. So there we go. So I am completely invisible just because I just crouched under plant. I don't know how this works, but apparently you just turn into plant and possess it. All right, no, that sounds a little bit creepy to explain, but here we go. We're gonna go into the tall grass, and that's basically how it works. And it also deals double damage once you're sneaking inside grass. So I guess that I'll spawn a creeper over there. And the creeper is right there, so he doesn't know what is going on. But I'm just gonna hit him with my hand, which should do 2 damage. Dude, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I'm just gonna make it out of there, and there we go. So, oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So I just asked on the creators Discord, and apparently the Camouflage Ring doesn't actually work with swords currently, so we have to actually use a bow and arrow. So Jonathan just put a creeper over there. So this is the normal damage you can do to a creeper, and Jonathan just kill him. So he was at 13 health. And let's say a creeper was this close. This is what you could do to him. So one shot him. That is actually amazing. So if he's really close, you're gonna have a really good shot at that. And imagine a fully enchanted bow. Oh dang, that would be a lot of damage. Now here we have the Chorus Inhibitor, and this can only be found in end cities, and it has a really special ability because it allows you to eat chorus fruit, then teleport back to where you were while you ate the chorus fruit. So I'm just gonna eat this chorus fruit, and the timer should start. So the timer is actually 30 seconds. So I'm just gonna walk in that direction for 30 seconds. And I should be pulled back just because I don't know why you would want this. I'm really not sure. Probably if you want to go pretty far, then you just want to come back for some reason. I don't know. So let's just keep walking. Let's keep walking. Let's keep walking. And it should eventually do it. Hello? And also, it does get rid of damage that is done by teleporting. And there we go. So I got teleported back. And you can also delay it more by just eating a bunch of these. So here we go. I'm gonna eat a frick ton of these. And 563 seconds and counting. Oh, dang. That's a long time. Probably enough to go on an adventure in the end and just come back home when you feel like it. Next up we have the Delay Ring. So this can only be found in end cities, and it's kind of complicated to explain, but it allows you to actually survive death, and then after it allows you to survive death, it can either choose to kill you or heal you. It's better if I actually show it off. So let me just make it nighttime so it can be a little bit easier. So it is now nighttime, and I'm gonna make this zombie bully me physically. So let me, oh, I kind of forgot the ring. So let me just wear the ring. Here we go. Put the ring on, and now let him actually kill me. So here we go. So this guy is gonna be my kill volunteer, since apparently Jonathan can't actually join without dying. And I'll let him actually kill me, and it's gonna take a while, isn't it? So there we go. So I almost died, and I am dead. So according to this, I'm not going to survive because my health is going to be in the negatives due to me not actually healing. So let it just actually kill me, and there we go. So it chose to kill me that time, and now I'm going to try it again so it can choose not to kill me. So here we go. So it completely recharged, and now let's just let the zombie kill me. So there we go. So it's currently saying that I'm not going to survive, but once I start eating and healing, it will actually double what I just healed. So there we go. So it's about to turn on, and it just freaking saved me and gave me more health than what I just regenerated. So this thing is freaking awesome, isn't it? Next up we have the Drowned Belt. So it can only be found in underwater ruins and shipwrecks, and this requires us to actually go into the pool. And let's just go to pool. So let's just dive into the pool, and here we go. So the first thing you'll notice is it allows you to have infinite breathing underwater. So that is freaking awesome. But the downside is it makes you a lot slower underwater, and that's because it basically turns you into a tank and not a speed god. So we're just gonna actually spawn one of these guys in, and I'm gonna show you why. So you can actually deal 3 times more damage when you have this belt on. So I'm just gonna hit this guy, and that did 2 damage. Now let's hit him again, and I think that was yeah, that is actually 3. And now he's at 12, and I'm just gonna keep punching him. But I'm gonna stop right now, because this belt actually has another ability, and that is, it makes you take 1.5 more damage from any other mob that hits you. So it's basically karma, a little bit of karma in the belt. So I'm gonna take this off, and let's see how much damage he does. So 1 heart of damage, and then it just turns into half a heart. So let's just try that again, just in case. So there we go. So it is 1 heart, and it's just because I regenerated. Now I'm gonna put this belt back on, and he should do a little bit more damage. So here we go. Just hit me, dude. So 1.5 hearts, and it just makes it so freaking balanced. And now let's just move on to the next item. Next up, we have the Elytra Booster, and this can only be found in end cities. And it only works in the end because it requires the Ender Dragon. And I know it sounds scary, but I'm gonna show you why. Alright, Ender Dragon, just come here and breathe on me. So yes, this actually is charged with Dragon's Breath, and that is pretty scary. But we're just gonna do it anyway, and I'm just gonna check. So it currently has 24 charge, so that actually means it's charged. Okay, it charges in the end, but you can also charge it with the Dragon's Breath, and it should be here any moment. So here we go. So I'm gonna absorb its breath by shifting, and there we go. I'm absorbing essence from the Ender Dragon, and look how much charge it gave me. So it's like 60, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. And also, if you're wondering why I'm not taking any damage, and that's because I have a lot of resistance on. Like, it's freaking insane the amount. Oh! Nope. So this is the best time to actually fly. So here we go. So I'm gonna fly around, and the way this works is you can just press shift, and it should make you fly like a maniac. And you can also ram mobs like that. And I'm just, oh, there we I'm sorry, this is so much fun though. I'm just gonna keep doing this. It can also work in any dimension, so I'm just gonna fall out of the world, and I'm gonna try it in the overworld. So here we are in the overworld, and it should work exactly the same. So you don't have to be in the end, but it's a little bit more helpful if you use it in the end, because it will automatically recharge, especially if there's Dragon's Breath nearby. And also, did I just see some particles? Oh, dang! Yeah, it has particles. That is actually amazing. So I'm just gonna continue on to the next item before I keep fanboying about this item. Now here we have the Ender's Hand, and this can only be found in end cities and strongholds. And this allows you to swap places with an Enderman, and it's probably a really bad idea to do this in if you're freaking survival, but we're just gonna stare at him by pressing shift, and we're just gonna stare straight at him. So there we go, and we just freaking swapped places. So I know it's a little bit weird. I don't know why you would want to do this. You would probably just want to do this if you just want to see what they see. Alright, I'm just sneaking around the corner, and there we go. Alright, let's see how well it goes in survival. So here we go. I knew I would go horribly. Oh no, no, dude, just calm down. Just calm down now. Go indoors. You shouldn't be able to get me in here. Unless you, okay, you can freaking teleport. I'm freaking doomed. I knew that would happen. I took too long to actually go to creative. All right, nope. Enderman, calm down. I knew that would freaking happen. Also, I probably know that a lot of people just clicked off at that moment. Now we have the Fragrant Flower. So this can only be found in jungle temples and mine shafts. And this requires us to actually use some bees because it has a really special ability. So what the Fragrant Flower allows you to do is actually control bees. So here comes a bee, and he's gonna pollinate me. So there we go. So he just pollinated this flower, and I'm gonna show you what it does later. But for now, I'm gonna show you the bees' abilities. Alright, apparently they just went to bed. So here we have a bunch of bees, and I'm just gonna murder this cow, and they're all gonna sting him. So yes, this allows you to control bees, and they will kill absolutely any single thing you hit. So it doesn't matter if it's passive, neutral, or aggressive, they're all gonna attack the same mob. And I just kind of realized that they're gonna die. No. Now let me show you the other ability the Fragrant Flower has. So if you shift, it should start growing plants. So you will see a lot of magic around you. Then all of a sudden, the plants will just all grow. No, Ramsey, that is not witchcraft. Also, thank you, Master Rick and Professor David. I know it's pretty helpful. Now we have the Holy Locket. So this can only be found in desert temples and desert villages. And this is pretty straightforward since it multiplies your attack by 1.5 to undead mobs. So that means it's gonna do more damage to zombies and skeletons and whatever other mob is dead. And it also has another ability. So I'm just gonna spawn a zombie in here. And let's actually hit him. So we're just gonna punch his guy, and there we go. So 19 damage and then 18, but it's kind of the same. But after a while, you can set him on fire. So I'm just gonna repeatedly punch this guy, and he should set on fire every once in a while. So that is awesome. Now we have the Hunter Belt. So this can only be found at the butchers, and what it does is it does a few things. So first off, it doubles the loot of absolutely any single mob. So first I'm gonna kill this cow without the hunter's belt. So there we go. No, cow, just calm down. So there we go. So it just dropped 3 steaks and 2 leather. And now we're just gonna try to kill it with the hunter belt. So I'm just gonna put it on. Also, if you want a tip, you can just click shift and then left click, and it should automatically put it in the correct slot. Now that we have this on, I'm gonna try to murder this cow at once. I don't know what I'm even talking about. It just doubles the damage of absolutely any single animal you kill. So if I'm gonna smack him, 1 hit kill. And there we go. So it dropped 3 steak and 1 leather. Alright, I guess that it sometimes depends. So occasionally it will double the loot. Now this next part involves your pets. So your pets will now deal 3 times more damage than they usually would. So for example, here I have a zombie. I'm gonna hit the zombie and the doggo should start attacking it. So there we go. So it did. Okay, it's doing a lot of... No, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna help him just in case. But there we go. So it's kind of difficult for your doggos to kill something. And now I'm gonna put on the belt. And let's see how easy it is for a doggo to kill. So we're just gonna put the zombie right here. And oh no, that thing is a little bit faster. Oh, that is how quickly you can kill a zombie. Just give this to your doggo, and this is the best thing you'll give him. Did I almost say kill him? So that almost 2 hits, and your dogs can just freaking murder almost any mob. Now we have the icebreaker. So this can only be found in igloos, snowy villages, and tundra villages. So that is a lot of villages where you can find this. And now I'm gonna show you all 3 abilities this thing has. Jonathan, please go down there. Do not. Okay. So we're just gonna land on that creeper. So what you want to do after jumping off a building is you can just jump off and then hold down space, and it should create a it should create a shockwave. Wait, I did not even see him die.
You went flying.
Alright, so Jonathan's gonna do that again. But wow. Yeah, Jonathan, just do it in front of me once I start falling. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, this actually gets rid of all damage while falling down. And that is the best thing ever. You can just one-kill anything under your feet. Probably you just... Oh, that is brutal. I just realized how brutal it is. Now I'm gonna show you the other ability this has. So you have to be really careful, but once you start falling down, you just click shift and you just try to keep hugging the wall. So what I mean by that is, in this case, I have to click the D key while holding shift and trying not to fall off. So let's just do this, and here we go. So I'm slowly falling, and by the way, I'm holding down the, you gotta be kidding me, I don't even know what buttons I'm holding down. So I'm clicking the D key and the S key, and it can still do some damage if you land, but at least it gets rid of most damage. And also you have to be careful with slabs, because slabs will almost instantly kill you. So here we go. Actually, you know what, I just figured out that almost any block can kill you. Oh, there we go. So that is when you do it properly. So when you do it properly, you shouldn't die. Now we have the ice skates. So these can only be found in snowy villages, taiga villages, and igloos. So that is a lot of places too. And this is pretty interesting, and we probably need to go to tundra. Now this is one of my favorite ones since it's the most fun one. So once you start sprinting on the ice, it makes you go like a maniac. but once you step out, it just makes you a lot slower. And this has a few abilities. So the longer you spend on the ice, the more probability of you ramming a mob to death. So, Jonathan, place a creeper over there. Jonathan, just place it over here. So, I'm just gonna ram. Oh, okay, it's fine right there. Oh, Jonathan, you're literally showing the example, but all right, I'm gonna show the example too. So I'm just gonna go at full speed towards him and knock him out of the ice. So the longer you stay on the ice and the longer you run around, the more knockback you're gonna give him. So I'm just gonna give this guy even more knockback. So there we go. And this is a creeper abuse, I know, but it's so much fun. And one last thing, you can actually freeze water if you walk fast enough over it. So there we go. So I froze the water over, and I'm just gonna freeze more water over, and apparently it's only temporary. So it's probably like Frostwalker, or probably this place doesn't like it. Alright, so it was only that specific spot that apparently hates them. But alright, I'm just gonna go through here, and I'll show you that sometimes it's a little bit temporary. So there we go. So if you don't have enough speed, it can sometimes fail, and there we go. So it's actually not permanent. So don't expect this to be a way to actually generate some ice. Next up, we have the Jellyfish Necklace. So this can only be found in the underwater ruins and shipwrecks, and it turns you into jellyfish. That is all I have to say about it, but now I'm gonna show you guys how it actually works. So I will have to go to the pool again. So first off, it doubles your healing. So Jonathan is gonna beat me up. Jonathan, you better use a netherite sword because that is doing absolutely...
Oh.
Okay, Jonathan is finally doing it correctly. So here we go. So this is how fast you heal on land. So I'm just gonna try to heal a little bit, and let me just eat something. And there we go. So I should start healing, and now Jonathan can beat me up after I stop healing again. Alright, now let's try to heal underwater. So let's just try it underwater, and let me just eat something. Oh, dang. Okay, it almost fills your entire bar underwater. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you is this can actually make you have an electric shock once you touch something. So it's basically turning you into jellyfish. And here we go. So I'm just gonna hit these guys, and I haven't been underwater for long enough. So I'm just gonna go above water and then try it again. So let me see if this is enough charge. So there we go. So it did half the damage. You know what? It just did half of his health damage. Alright, I don't even... So now we have the lucky horseshoe. So this can only be found at the shepherds, and it gives you a 10% chance of getting triple luck or triple looting. And by the way, if you don't know what luck is, it's basically what allows you to get better loot from chests. So that requires me to actually go to chests, and it might vary. So I'm first gonna look at the chests without this, and then I'm gonna look at chests with this on. So here we have a normal chest. So it just generated some bread and some flowers, but now let's see what happens once we put this on. So it should be a lot better now, and let me just take this off because I kind of forgot to. Now here we go. So this is a little bit better, but it's gonna take a while to actually search through many chests because it literally is only a 10% chance. So instead, I'm actually going to show you the looting. So here we have looting without this. So let me just take this off, and let's hit a creeper without it. So here we go. So this is how much gunpowder we get from him. So basically 2 gunpowder usually. Now let's use this horseshoe, and it probably requires me to kill a bunch of creepers, but let's do it anyway. Now here we have the magic mirror. So this can only be found in mine shafts and strongholds, and it allows you to go back to your last respawn point. So for example, my respawn point is up there, so I'm just gonna right click, and here we go. So I am back in my bedroom, but you could also probably use this to be in an infinite cycle, although it does have a recharge time once you use it in survival. So for example, here I go, and it's not gonna recharge into a while. Also, just curious, so does it work in another dimension? Nope. Now we have the Magma Walker. So this can only be found in bastions, nether fortresses, and ruined portals. And let me just go into the nether. And yes, I really did make this portal right here. So here we go. So this is its main ability. It allows you to walk on lava. So you can walk on lava all you want, and there's no regeneration on this. So you don't have to wait for it to regenerate. So here we go. So there's no recharge time or anything, and also that stop swimming in lava. So these actually have 4 stages. So the first stage is completely safe to walk on. So I'm just gonna take these off, and this is gonna be pretty horrible. So this is like magma blocks, and then these are completely safe. So also, the good tip is you could just shift over any magma blocks or magma based blocks, and it should keep you protected. And I think this is a bad idea because it's about to turn into lava. So I'm just gonna walk all the way back here before it turns into lava, and I'll just wait it. I mean, I'll wait it out. I don't know how to speak anymore. Also, yeah, you can accelerate them by actually breaking them down a bit. So there's a few stages where you can break it down. So here, no matter what, you're gonna take damage. So there we go. So it's almost ready, and Jotin stop breaking them. So I'm just gonna wait for this one to just turn into lava. So there we go. So most of them are naturally turning into lava, so you better be careful. By the way, this makes you take no damage once you step on magma blocks. So no longer will you have to click shift, you can just walk on it. And there we go, your feet won't burn, and no matter how much you actually walk on this. Next up is one of my favorite relics. So this is called the Midnight Robe, and it can only be found in end cities. And the reason why I really love this is because it allows you to actually hide in the shadows once your health falls below 20%. So let this guy get me below 20% health. So he's gonna keep hitting me, and eventually I should turn invisible. So here we go. So invisible at any moment, and now I can feel free to run wherever I want. So as long as it's nighttime, you can do this. After it's not nighttime, you can never do this again until it's the next night. So if that makes any sense at all. And now I'm just gonna show you one last thing. So it can make you deal the more damage once you're actually in this sneak mode. So Jotin, just give me more damage, things to damage. Alright, so I'm gonna deal double the damage. So here we go. So that is how much damage it did. And now he can actually see me because I disturbed his peace. But that was almost a one-shot kill, which is actually amazing. Now we have the Outrunners. So this can only be found at mine shafts and strongholds. And what it allows you to do is go at insane speeds if you walk in a certain direction for a while. And it also increases the speed at which you step over blocks, so you can actually run over hills faster. So here we go. So we're just gonna keep running, and once we get in the water, it's gonna stop. But once I start running in the same direction again, it'll start running again. So here we go. Did I just call myself in it? I don't even know what I'm doing. So now let's just keep going, and let's just sprint so it can happen. So here we go, and there we go. We're gonna start running, and now let me see. So yeah, you can actually switch directions, but if you let go, you have to do it all over again. But these are just so amazing, since you can just freaking run across the entire world if you want it, as long as you don't get stuck on a mountain or something. Now we have the Rage Glove. So this can only be found in bastions and nether fortresses. And this is a little bit more complicated to explain, but every time you hit a combo, you get a 10% increase in damage on whatever mob you're hitting. So for example, I'm just going to use my fist, since that is the easiest thing I can use, and I was actually gonna abuse another creeper, but alright, you know what, I just want to abuse another creeper. So after multiple incidents, I've decided to show this off in creative. So here we have a Ravager, and we're just gonna try to hit a combo on him. So 1, 2, 3, and then it just exponentially starts gaining more damage. So there we go, so 14. Up to 14 damage, and originally it was much less, so Jotin spawn in another one, and let's see how much it originally did. So originally it does like about 8 damage or so. Yeah, it does about 8 damage every hit usually. Now the exact same thing applies, but with their mobs attacking you, so they will do 5% more damage every single combo they get on you. So he'll start hurting me more, and there we go. Now we have the Reflection Necklace. So this can only be found in bastions and nether fortresses. And the way this works, it basically gives you an invincibility shield that takes a while to actually charge up. So the first charge takes a minute, and then after that minute passes, it takes 2 minutes for the second charges. And then from that point on, it takes 3 minutes to do the other charge. So it's basically gonna take a while, but it's completely worth it, since it'll just give you a bunch of shields. But since I don't want to wait, I'm just gonna use the one that I have stored in the ender chest. So I don't know where the ender chest is anymore. Okay, so here we go. So here we have a fully charged one, and I'm just gonna put it on. I can't find where it goes. All right, so here we go. So this is how it looks like once you have all the shields up. So you just have to wait a while, be patient, and you should get all of these awesome shields. And also Jonathan just showed how it looks like once you actually spawn your own shield. All right, so this creeper's gonna attack me, but he's gonna do absolutely nothing because I have freaking shields. That is how overpowered it is. Also, Jonathan, how much damage does that sword do in your hand? All right, Jonathan, hit me. Oh, there we go. That is how powerful it is. I just got when a sword that has 450 million damage. Alright, that is completely overpowered. Next up is the Scarab Talisman. So I know that I completely mispronounced that, but I freaking can't do anything about it. But anyway, you can only find this in desert temples and desert villages. And this only works in deserts. So yeah, it's all desert based. And I'm just gonna put it on, and let's just actually head to one of oh yeah, the observatory is over there. All right, so I'm just gonna go to the observatory. All right, we have found the observatory. But anyway, as you can see, the second I entered the desert, it makes me run like a maniac. So this is the best thing that you can actually wear. So here we go. So I'm just running across the desert like if it was nothing. Yeah, this is how amazing it is. And it also makes it so you won't actually choke under sand, if that makes any sense. So I'm just gonna make Jonathan try to suffocate me over here. So I'm just gonna stand over here under this ominous piece of sand over there. All right. Oh, there we go. Jonathan, you kind of failed at that. So Jonathan is just gonna manually bury me. So Jonathan, bury me. Actually, yeah, there we go. So you can just freaking be in sand and nothing will happen to you. Actually, I don't know how you can even breathe, but I guess that's the animals are in the desert. And Jonathan, stop putting sand on me. That's a lot of sand. Now here we have the Shadow Glaive. So this can only be found in end cities. And it's actually quite special since it's not like the other relics. You actually have to have it in your offhand. And also, I kind of forgot to mention that about the magic mirror. But anyway, let's just use this in the battle arena since I don't want everything to burn. So what this does is sometimes it'll give you a chance that this glaive will be launched out of your hand. And it'll deal the damage depending on how much damage you dealt to the mob. So it'll make sense in a while. So I'm just gonna hit him, and there we go. So it did double the basically does double the damage. So I'm just gonna hit this guy, hit him again, and okay, it didn't do it that time, but here we go. We're gonna hit this guy and hit this guy. There we go. So it almost insta-kills any mob you hit. So if this was enchanted, it would actually do a lot of damage. All right, so this one should be it. So let me just hit this creeper. And there we go. So that was the bounce back I was talking about. Although it didn't do the damage I was probably thinking that it would do. But all right, it doesn't really matter. There we go. That's what I wanted to show. Oh, what? I just glitched it out. Wait, what just happened?
I have no idea.
Alright, so I can sometimes go crazy like that. Alright, that is going in. That is a glitch, but it's going in because I really love that. Now we have the Soul Devourer. So this can only be found at end cities, and it has a really overpowered ability. But first, I'm gonna show you the regular ability, which is basically the 10% increase in damage once you start accumulating more souls. So first I'm gonna start without any souls, and I know that is never gonna stop sounding weird. So the first ability is the weakest ability, and it's the ability to do 10% increase in attack damage once you accumulate 64 souls, which is a stack of souls. So here I'm gonna try to get a stack of souls by killing all of these zombies over here. And let's see how much I got. So I got about 55. So I just need to kill like about probably 3 more of these guys to get 64 souls. So there we go. So we have 70 souls. So we're just gonna hit this guy and see how fast we can kill him. So it leaves him at near 4 health. Now let's try again. And that was 3 health. So it does increase the amount of damage you do. And now let me just test it without that. So we're just gonna, oh no, that's the wrong type. That's the wrong type. That's the wrong type. So I'm just gonna kill this one the regular way. So here we go. So 10, okay, so it did 10 damage. Now let's try again, and that was okay. It left him at 13, and now let's use the Soul Devourer again. So it should still be at around 70, and let's hit another zombie, and there is clearly a difference, and dude just die. So now we have 100 souls, and there's no time to actually wait. So we're just gonna shift, and here we go. So it's gonna start using the souls to kill absolutely every single thing around me. So as you can see, most of these zombies are have complete health, well, except for a few around here for some reason. But here we go. So it instantly killed absolutely every single thing around me. So that is how powerful this thing is. This thing is overly powered. It's insane, actually. So that is why it's one of my favorite. Now we have the Space Dissector. So, yeah, no, I'm mispronouncing many of these names, but this can only be found at end cities, and it doesn't require it to go in any slots over here, so it just requires it to be in your hand. Now let me just get in a really small place so I can throw this disc, because this is actually throwable. So let's actually try this on the airship since we haven't been here in a while. So hopefully this does not break the windows. But anyway, what you want to do is right click and it should throw the disc. So there we go. So it's you gotta be freaking kidding me. Okay, so take into consideration that you can't use it in glass. But anyway, I'm just gonna show you how to actually get it back. So to get it back, you can just right click and it should return to you like a Meowner. So I've learned from my past mistake and sealed up absolutely every single thing in here. Now let's throw this and it should bounce around. So as you can hear, there's a really special sound that makes once it bounces around. So there we go, it just keeps bouncing around, and if you manage to catch it, it'll go back into your inventory, come back here. So there we go, so it went back into my inventory, and now I'm just gonna try with a few zombies around here. So let's just throw this, and it should hit that zombie, then just come back, and there we go. So it just went back into my hand. Also, a thing you should know is the damage dealt depends on how many bounces it has. So I'm just gonna make it bounce around for a while, and hopefully it can hit enough mobs to actually do something. So there we go. So it just returned to me for no reason. It probably rebounded, but it can also return to you automatically. So I'm just gonna try to move around so this won't actually touch me. So here we go. It's gonna keep bouncing around, and eventually it should start following me. So yeah, it does automatically return when it wants to. And there's another thing you can do with this. So I'm just gonna go outside now. Okay, here's the exit. I almost forgot where the exit was. So I'm gonna throw this disc like over there. And now let me just throw it. So now that I've thrown it, I'm gonna activate it while holding down shift, and it should teleport me to the location. So by activate, I just mean right click and shift at the same time, and it should teleport you to wherever the disc was. Which is, yeah, it's a really good replacement for an Ender Pearl, although it cannot hit the ground, so you might probably die if you teleport to it at the wrong moment. Now speaking about that, let's see. So does it have a chance to kill you? Yep, it does have the chance to actually murder you. Next up we have the spatial sign. So this can only be found at mine shafts and strongholds. And what it does is, you can just right click and it'll store the location where you right clicked. Now I'm just gonna keep walking this way until the 30 seconds are up. So let me just see how many seconds we have. So we have 21 seconds, and I'm just gonna keep walking since I kind of showed it on the other object a while ago. So here we go. So I have returned, and I don't know why I had such a delayed reaction. But anyway, there's another ability this has. So if you activate it and you take fatal damage, it'll teleport you back to the same area you were at. So here we go, we're just gonna go into the air. Now this should be high enough, but let's see what happens. So we're gonna die, and there we go. So it teleported me right back, but it shatters the actual relic. So you better be careful, and it actually saves you. It regenerates your health to have a heart. So yeah, that's why I had to record it, because I didn't really get that part. Now we have the spider necklace. So this can only be found at mine shafts and strongholds, and this is pretty straightforward. So what it allows you to do is climb walls. So I'm just gonna go into survival, and let's just start climbing. So this is kind of like one of the inventory pets I have in my Phantom Phoenix series, and it allows you to just climb stuff. So we're just gonna keep climbing, and climbing, and here we go. So we're just gonna be up here, and then we're just gonna climb all the way to the top. So this is actually amazing, since I really love climbing mechanics when it comes to just climbing random blocks. So now I'm just gonna try to jump off and see if we can slow down our fall. But okay, you cannot slow down your fall, so it's only a one-way thing. Next up we have the Spore Sack. So this can only be found at jungle temples, and it gives you a chance to poison your enemies once you launch a projectile. So that basically means a bow and arrow or a crossbow. So we have our bow and arrow, and we're just gonna shoot this creeper, and it should give a chance to poison him. Creeper, are you gonna get poisoned? So there we go. So it let go of a poisoned cloud. And now let's try it again to see if it poisons the other creeper next to it. So there we go. So they're both taking damage. And you can do the exact same thing by just shooting the ground. So we're just gonna keep shooting the ground until this happens. So here we go. We're just gonna keep shooting the ground, and it should poison the creeper too. So this reminds me of something from Minecraft Dungeons. I remember there's an effect for this where it just poisons every enemy around you. Next up is the last relic on this mod review, which is the Stellar Catalyst. So this can only be found at end cities, and it summons something called a falling star. So this is basically a shooting star that does 50% of the damage of what you did to the mob when you summoned it. So it'll make more sense once I actually do it. So I'm just gonna set it to nighttime, and let's just use a bunch of despawn eggs. So I kind of attempted this earlier on, but I didn't succeed because I literally didn't have it on. Now let's try it again. So we're just gonna hit one of these zombies, and I just realized that I'm not in survival mode, so they're not gonna attack me. So here we go, dudes, just keep attacking, and any moment, there we go. So the shooting star has been summoned, and it didn't really do that much damage. Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. All right, there should be I just want to summon another one. So here we go, we're just gonna summon, and there we go. So it almost killed that zombie, and I'm kind of worried that's nighttime now, so I guess I'll go back into creative and daytime. Also, I didn't really sound excited for that, maybe because I tried it multiple times and failed. Anyway, here we have the chalk. So this isn't really a relic, but it allows you to draw on the ground. So yeah, that is basically what it does. It just lets you draw on the ground. Anyway, here we have the last object, which is the pedestal. Also, if you were wondering why I didn't cover any of these things right here, that is because it is part of a future update where you can upgrade any of these relics. So yeah, I don't know what it's gonna do, but I heard the creator talking about that on his Discord, and it's probably gonna be amazing. Anyway, let's just grab this off the pedestal, and the way you craft a pedestal is with 1 gold, 2 redstone dust, and 3 basalts, and it gives you 3 of these pedestals. Now the way this works is you can just display any item you want. So for example, I'm just gonna place this pedestal down, and I'm gonna right click on it with the netherite sword, and there we go. Now it is spinning. And you can also place it on its side, and I'm not even sure, I think you might be able to place it upside down, which is kind of strange. So I'm just gonna do it upside down. Let's put another right. Yeah, it can do it upside down. That is actually awesome. But anyway, that was it for today's mod review, because that was everything that I had to cover. So that was it for today's mod review. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this. I'm sorry if it probably sounded a little bit different in every single part of this. And that's because I did this over 3 days. Because yes, I spent each day I spent more than an hour recording this. And hopefully it comes out alright, since I really tried my best to actually keep it consistent. But anyway, I'm just gonna end it here before I get even more tired. So don't forget to press that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you happen to be enjoying my content. Let's try to get to 10 likes on this mod review. And hopefully you guys have an awesome day or night. And see you all later. Bye!